And I remember coming to an exhibition at the Science Museum called Revelations in Photography, which consisted of photographs of scientific experiments over the last century. And I remember seeing this image by a photographer called Berenice Abbott. And she had produced a photograph called a parabolic mirror, which consisted of a giant mirror made of lots of fragments of mirror. And in each fragment was a picture of an eye. And the eye was reflected from each piece, and there were about 50 eyes in this photograph. And it was so eye-catching and memorable, it really stuck in my mind. So when MUF Architecture and Art invited me to conceive of a piece for the entrance to the gallery, I immediately thought of this image, and I thought, what if we could recreate it, update it, make it a really beautiful artwork, but then the public would come and recreate the photograph by interacting with the piece. So they would stand in front of the mirror, and at a particular point, their faces would be reflected back by all the pieces of the mirror. What I really loved about the original image by Berenice Abbott was the sense of mystery and magic, and I really wanted to capture these elements in the public artwork. My job as an artist was to create an artwork that would actually last and be touched and handled and interacted with for a long period of time. So instead of using glass mirror, I decided to use polished, very thin stainless steel. And the fantastic thing about polished stainless steel is that it enables you to have a reflective surface but with very little thickness. Unlike normal mirror, which is actually quite thick and looks a little clunky, with polished stainless steel, it enabled me to make a mirror made of these very thin sections of metal, which you could look at the back and you could actually see the structure behind it. So when the visitor approaches the piece, they're not exactly sure what to do with it, and they explore the space in front of and side to side until they find a sweet spot in the air where suddenly their face is reflected back at them by every single piece of mirror. And now it's placed in the gallery, I really can't wait to see how people interact with it, especially children, because I always designed the mirror to be at children's eye height. So hopefully when children approach it, they're really instinctively going to know how to use it. And when I saw the mirror standing up for the first time in the warehouse where it was being assembled, it was one of the highlights of my professional life. I couldn't quite believe that a photograph taken in the 1950s had managed to be translated into a piece of solid artwork that would hopefully last for many, many years.